Across the vast landscapes of the American West, a silent threat to wildlife exists. Miles of fencing crisscross public lands, originally erected to manage livestock. However, these fences have unintended consequences, posing significant risks to a variety of iconic species. While fences may seem benign, they disrupt the natural movements of wildlife, leading to entanglement, injury, and even death. The impact of cattle fencing extends far beyond individual animals. It fragments habitats, disrupts migration routes, and alters the delicate balance of entire ecosystems. As we explore this issue further, we'll delve into the lives of the animals most affected, the broader ecological implications, and the potential solutions that offer hope for a future where wildlife and human activities can coexist more harmoniously. The story of cattle fencing and its impact on wildlife is a complex one. It's a story of unintended consequences, of human activities impacting the natural world in ways we are only beginning to understand. But it's also a story of hope, as growing awareness of this issue is leading to innovative solutions and a renewed commitment to protecting our shared natural heritage. Among the most vulnerable victims of cattle fencing are pronghorn antelope, mule deer, and elk. These magnificent creatures, symbols of the American West, are often found entangled in fences, their powerful bodies ensnared by something as seemingly insignificant as wire. Pronghorn, built for speed and agility, are particularly susceptible. Their instinct is to jump over obstacles, but fences often prove too high or too rigid, leading to entanglement and injury. Mule deer, known for their graceful leaps and bounds, also face challenges. Their attempts to jump fences can result in broken legs or entanglement, leaving them vulnerable to predators or starvation. Elk, the largest of the three species, are not immune either. Their size and weight can work against them when they encounter fences, leading to entanglement or injury as they try to force their way through or over the barriers. These encounters often have tragic consequences. A seemingly harmless fence can become a death trap, leaving behind orphaned young, dwindling populations, and a stark reminder of the unintended impacts of human activities on the natural world. The impact of cattle fencing extends far beyond the individual animals that become entangled or injured. These fences fragment habitats, creating artificial barriers that disrupt the natural movements of wildlife. Imagine a vast open landscape where animals once roamed freely, now dissected by miles of fencing. These fences act as barriers to migration, preventing animals from reaching seasonal breeding grounds, food sources, and water. This disruption can have cascading effects throughout the ecosystem. For example, when predators are unable to follow their prey across fragmented landscapes, it can lead to imbalances in predator-prey relationships. This can result in overgrazing in certain areas, impacting plant diversity and overall ecosystem health. The fragmentation caused by fencing also isolates populations, reducing genetic diversity and making species more vulnerable to disease and environmental changes. Section 4. Finding Solutions, Policy, Advocacy, and Innovation. The challenges posed by cattle fencing are significant but not insurmountable. Across the American West, a growing movement is underway to find solutions that balance the needs of livestock management with the imperative to protect wildlife. Government agencies, conservation organizations, and ranchers are working together to implement innovative strategies. One promising approach is the removal of unnecessary fencing, particularly in areas identified as critical wildlife habitat or migration corridors. This not only reduces the risk of entanglement, but also helps to restore habitat connectivity, allowing wildlife to move more freely across the landscape. Another solution is the modification of existing fences to make them more wildlife-friendly. This can involve simple measures like increasing the spacing between wires, removing the bottom wire to allow animals to crawl under, or using smooth wire instead of barbed wire to reduce the risk of injury. In some areas, virtual fencing is being explored as a more flexible and adaptable alternative to traditional fencing. Section 5. A Future Without Fences, A Vision for Coexistence. The story of cattle fencing and its impact on wildlife is ultimately a story about our relationship with the natural world. As we have learned to recognize the unintended consequences of our actions, we have also discovered our capacity for innovation and collaboration in finding solutions. A future without fences, where wildlife can roam freely and ecosystems can thrive, is within our reach. This vision requires a continued commitment to research, collaboration, and the implementation of wildlife-friendly practices. It requires us to view public lands not just as resources to be exploited, but as shared spaces where both wildlife and human activities can coexist sustainably. The journey towards this future is ongoing, but with each step we take to mitigate the impacts of cattle fencing, we move closer to a world where the fences that divide us fall away and the wild spirit of the American West endures.